Welcome to, well, as you can see, the middle of nowhere. So a few years ago we used to go out a lot hiking, get the views in, take some photos. We had no idea what this place was, and when we got here and found tunnels, we were thinking, well, we've got to go in them, right? So we found this one here and we went in. As we were walking down there, we could have swore we heard other people already in there. So we were like, should we go in? Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. So we carried on and we realised there wasn't anyone in there with us. Freaked out. We got out of there and went home. Now, I've never really thought about it again until recently when I was thinking of places to come and I was like, oh yeah, we could come here. But this time I wanted to find out what this place was and what had happened here. Was there any deaths here? Are there any reports of hauntings? And if we did hear people, who did we hear? So although now this place is a nice little walk for hikers, it used to be used for lead mining all the way back since the 15th century, and it really took off in the 17th and 18th century. In 1864, this place was built like we can kind of see it is now. There were a couple of problems with this place though. Well, I mean, firstly, it's in the middle of nowhere, so trying to keep warm and fed out here. But at the start, the way they mined was with black powder blasting. You can imagine that, can't you? Deep in the tunnels. Boom! In there. The tunnels collapsed and there were many deaths because of it. Over time, they switched up how they mined and introduced compressed air drills. But there was still another problem, the poisoning from mining the lead itself. So if you survived the actual mining process, you could still get caught by the poison. There were many deaths around these moorlands, so much so that special roads were built just to get rid of the bodies. They went by a few names such as Corpse Ways, Corpse Roads and Coffin Lanes. They were made to send the bodies either to the churches at the mining sites or their final resting place. As I found out myself today, they were often a long distance away. I am absolutely freaking exhausted. Just getting here was an absolute hell of a walk. I slipped over, landed on my ass and winded myself, snapped my glasses straight in half, but the people who had to carry the dead tried to make things a bit easier for themselves. They made wicker coffins instead of wooden ones to lighten the load. They also laid flat stones called coffin stones along the road so they could place the coffin down and have a rest before carrying on their trek. I just wish I could go back in time and just tell them to use a cart. Thing is about those stones though, they're becoming very hard to find because of the overgrowth, but you can still find them out here if you are looking for them. The Corpse Roads avoided villages for fear that the spirit would be enticed to return. This fear came from the Norse belief that the Corpse Road was thought to mirror the last journey of the soul from Earth to the other side. I found people talking about seeing people out here who they thought were just other hikers, but then as they got over the bank, that person was gone. As you can see, there's not many places you could hide. So who have people been seeing out here? Someone walking along these Corpse Roads? Also, one strange report I found is a headless dog is sent to haunt one of these roads around here. Very odd, but imagine if you've seen that. That would be freaky. Now, my plan when I got here was to actually go in there. I was going to take you right the way down, all the way through the tunnel and get to the end, have a little look around. But guess what? I forgot my wellies. I left them in the car. Now, I thought there was going to be a little bit of water, but it is so deep and I am not doing that horrendous walk back to the car being soaked up to my shins. No freaking way. And to be honest, it's probably not best to go in there by myself because I actually read a report that someone fell down a shaft and when the rescuers tried to come and get them, they just couldn't reach them, so they ended up just literally dying. Now, even though I read that, I was still going to go down there. I printed out a map, I sent it to my girlfriend as well because there's no signal around here. So I said, hey, if you don't hear from me, this is where I am. But I'm just not doing it. I am not freaking getting soaked. So hopefully that's not too disappointing that I'm not actually going in there. But thinking about it, it's probably best not to. Like I say, I was going to, but with it being so drenched and soaked, I don't want to end up falling down some shaft. But I hope you had fun listening to the story of these Corpse Roads and possibly poisoned lead miners who were trying to talk to us. Who knows? What do you think about that? I mean, it's pretty freaky hearing voices and there not being anyone there. Make sure you stick around for some more little adventures and some paranormal investigations. Let me know if you want me to come back here and go in the tunnels. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.